everyone, and welcome to another episode of MAASters. I'm Diljeet, Sales Manager from MAAS powered by Affle. And today we have a very special guest with us, Segun from Africa. Welcome to MAASters, Segun. We are glad to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Same here. So, before we get started, could you tell us a little bit about yourself for our viewers and what work you do in the FinTech space?
Okay, so I'm Segun Adeyemo with 7 years of experience managing and executing successful marketing strategies for businesses in sectors such as FinTech, lifestyle, FMCG, fashion, and real estate. So currently what I do is growth marketing, is basically focused on user acquisition and the full growth funnel, metrics and everything. If I'm not working, you can catch me tending to my plants, watching a movie or even at a club.
Okay, that's amazing. Right. So, I have some interesting questions for you now. So, the first question for you is 3 unique user behavior trends among the African audience post-COVID.
Well, I would say as an app marketer, I'm still learning what the trend among African audiences are. And I would say from what I can deduce from the little that I've learned would be that people are spending more time on their phones, compared to the pre-COVID era where people were busy with work and all of that, commuting from one place to another. We have like the options of remote working now, which has made people even spend more time on their laptops, on their phones. So which makes it easier for users to even see ads run by different brands. Then also another unique user behavior I've noticed is that consumer spending is revving up compared to pre-COVID era. So you see like a lot of people are shopping more. People tend to want to buy something, really they see it, right? We have a lot of e-commerce popping up. We have social media channels adopting e-commerce and all of that. So I think that with this post-COVID era that we are in currently, we have seen that consumer spending has increased. Then also the last unique behavior I've noticed is brand loyalty and trust. People are willing to trust their money with brands that have no physical locations, with brands who are popular on the digital space as opposed to physical space, compared to, let's say in 2019, 2018, a lot of people were very skeptical shopping online, trusting brands to deliver, trusting brands to put in their hard-earned money, so those are like the 3 unique user behavior I've noticed in the African audience.
Correct. I think I'm totally agreed with all your 3 points. So my second question is, name 3 key elements to create an effective FinTech UA communication strategy.
Okay, so I think the most important thing would be your business strategy or goals. So it's always good to align with the business goals when building your UA communication strategy, because that's what will shape what your strategy would look like. So for example, are the business goals currently user acquisition, are they retention, are they engagement, so we just have to align with what the business is all about if you want to build a UA communication strategy. Then also finding the right acquisition channels is very, very important. So do you think your users are going to be offline? Do you think your users are going to be online? If they're online, what channels are you utilizing? Are you using programmatic channels? Are you using social network? Are you using offline channels to target them, like the billboards, the radio, the television? So finding the right acquisition strategy or the right acquisition channels rather, it's very, very key while building your UA communication strategy. Then also allocating the right budget is very, very important, because when you want to acquire customers, you need to know that, okay, this is how much I'm going to spend while acquiring these customers, which is definitely depending on your business goals. So they all work hand in hand. right? Yeah, so
Exactly. So, my next question is an entrepreneur whose journey has really inspired you.
well, I think I'm going to be a bit biased with that one. Maybe because this is someone who is closer to me. So, I mean, that's the person I can actually say, okay, their journey inspires me. And it's actually my sister. She owns a jewelry store. So before COVID, she set up her online store. She sells like female accessories and everything that has to do with female fashion, basically. And I have watched her bootstrap her business from the start till now where she is. I mean, she started online and now she's like working on having a showroom in somewhere really, really nice in Lagos where customers can actually come in and check out the products, because most people are still skeptical while shopping online. Like they don't really like, especially in Nigeria here, there are a lot of concerns about, oh, is this online shop a scam and all of that. And I saw how she was able to bootstrap her business from the ground up to now where she is, where like she's able to raise funds from investors and all of that. So I think that's one entrepreneur whose journey has really, really inspired me.
Okay, that is actually amazing. And I'm so glad to hear about your sister. And probably when I
Thank you.
visit next in Nigeria, I'm definitely going to visit your sister.
No problem, no problem.
Great. So, moving forward, three things to consider for app marketers looking to impress specifically the African audience.
Okay, so I'd rather no one quotes me on this because this is just I mean, it's not written anywhere. It's just what I have noticed or what I have learned with my years of experience in dealing with like fintech apps and all of that. Um I think one thing to really consider is how interesting your creatives are, like how your creatives connect with the audience you're trying to reach. And like Africans, um, they're very, very, I feel like it's general, like the audience in general have very low attention span, right? So they just see an ad and they just like move over it. But what really makes them stay is like how interesting that ad looks. And what makes an interesting ad is your creative. So are you doing something nice with your videos? Are you doing something nice with your image creatives? Just something out of the box that would really want to attract a user to click on that particular ad. So I think like having very, very interesting creatives, it's really, really good if you're looking to impress like the African audience. Then also like personalizing user experience is very, very important because I feel like most people are always blown away if things speak specifically to them, right? So like that way, I know there are still restrictions with the whole iOS 14 plus and later OS, but I feel like on the Android side, you're able to still personalize user experience, making use of deep links, making use of like your custom product pages on iOS, making use of your screenshots on your stores, just making it feel like you're speaking to the user directly. Then also, detail targeting is also important. Like you don't want to show an ad to a user who is not interested in what like you're offering. So it's very, very key and important to actually detail your targeting while setting your ads up. So that, I mean, just imagine where someone is searching for maybe a fintech app and then your ad pops up, recommending that particular thing. So I feel like a detailed targeting is quite very, very important while looking to impress the African audience. Yeah.
Correct. I'm actually really agree with you on the creatives part that you said, because even I see a lot of app marketers focus on the other metrics a lot, like the user acquisition and spends.
Yeah.
But to analyze creatives is also a very crucial part, in scaling the campaign performance. So yeah, totally
exactly.
agreed with your point.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is three ways the fintech industry is promoting financial inclusion among unbanked Africans.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of African startups that are doing amazing stuff. Um, you see, there are startups whose USP is just focusing on lower transaction costs, or even no transaction cost at all. I mean, there's one step in banking the unbanked in Africans is by, lowering your transaction cost or lowering your transaction fee, cross-border payments, people not having to spend a arm and a leg to send money to their loved ones, around Africa. Maybe you're in the US too, or you're in the UK, you're trying to send money down to Africa and all of that, or even within the African borders, like, lowering transaction fees helps you reach certain people who don't really even have access to like financial services. Then also, there are people too who are working on micro loans, payday loans, overdrafts, because I mean, I feel like the market is here in Nigeria, even in Africa as a whole. You see people providing loans to people who can actually afford to pay for a service or a product at once, So, I mean, these initiatives actually help promote financial inclusion. Then also, like the agency banking thing too, you can see it everywhere. For example, in Lagos, like you can rarely move from one point to the other without actually seeing an agent who is offering to like send money on your behalf, who is offering to for you to withdraw money instead of going to the queues at the ATM, or even go as far as helping you pay your bills at this very, very subsidized fee. So I feel like all these initiatives are also they're really helping with the promotion of financial inclusion in Africa. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So I would want your one crucial advice for any early stage fintech app.
Well, I would say from a personal perspective, it's good to build a solid product, right? It's better to build a solid product that actually solves consumer problems, because if you're building a product that doesn't really address the problems that people are facing, you're really not solving any issues. You're really not doing anything impactful, right? There might not really be an adoption for your product. So it's very, very important as an early stage fintech startup that you're actually building a very good product that addresses the problems of consumers, that fixes their problems.
Correct. Okay. So now is the last stage, and we call it as rapid fire. So I'll give you two options and you'll have to quickly choose one. UA or retention?
UA.
Installs or registrations?
Oh, registrations, obviously.
Correct. Traditional banks or neobanks?
Definitely neobanks.
Okay. And when investing, you would choose crypto, mutual funds, or equity investments?
For me, equity investment.
Got it. So Segun, that was some great insights from you. But before we wrap up, do you have any parting thoughts about how the African fintech space is set to shape up in this year?
Well, I don't really have much, but I know that there are people building very good products. There are people building very good things that would put Africa on the. I mean, Africa is already on the map when it comes to the fintech space. We are gradually getting there, and I know that there are some things that are being worked on currently. Like in the crypto space, like NFTs. Even digital banking and also software as a service. So I think like we are going to take the world by storm this year. I feel like that no one's going to see it coming. But I know that there are great things lined up to happen this year that will definitely shape up the African fintech space.
I'm totally agreed with you. I think it's time for Africa. And so that's a wrap up for today. Thank you, Segun, for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you on this episode.
Okay, bye.
If you like this episode of App Masters and want to stay updated about the latest mobile marketing trends, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to all our social channels.